I'm Dr. Rudi Newman, a historian and author working with Hertfordshire's Library Service, and in this series we'll be revealing some of the important, obscure and sometimes unusual stories to be found in Hertfordshire's history. Hertfordshire is well known for its connection with Alban, the Roman martyr. As with all of Britain, over the centuries religion has been an important part of culture and daily life, from the rise and fall of the monasteries to the religious turbulence of the Tudors and Stuarts amongst others. Hertfordshire, however, is unique in Britain for one particular connection, the birthplace of the only English Pope. Thought to have been born around 1100, Nicholas Breakspear came from Bedmont, a village considered part of the larger settlement of Abbotts Langley. Coming from a poor family, very little is known of his early life, there even being a question as to his legitimacy, two different fathers being recorded by different chroniclers. Unfortunately, the one recorded story of his life in Hertfordshire, being rejected as a novice at St Albans Abbey, is fictitious, a case of promoting the local boy who rose to the top, even if the story is rather at the Abbey's expense, having been set up as the ones throwing out a future pope. Breakspear only received minimal education, but plainly sought to improve himself, training as a monastic clerk. It would appear that he rose in the order rapidly, believed to have become a canon at Merton Priory in Surrey, before moving to Arles in Provence, where he continued studying. Moving again to the Priory of St Ruth, Avignon, he became abbot in the late 1140s. Accounts suggest he was particularly strict, the monks rebelling at least twice, and Breakspear being summoned to Rome each time. These trips, however, would become an asset, as he was noticed by Pope Eugenius III, who around 1148 made him Cardinal Bishop of Albano, in what is now the province of Rome. During his time in the senior role, Breakspear undertook several important projects, from a mission to Catalonia to ending the Norwegian Civil War, strengthening the position of the Church. Returning to Rome in 1153, he discovered that Pope Eugenius had died, succeeded by Anastasius IV, who would himself die in the following year. In December 1154, Nicholas Breakspear was elected Pope, it would appear rather unwillingly, taking the name Adrian IV, in purported recognition of the first Adrian who granted the abbey to St Albans. There was a problem, though. Although unanimously selected, he was not popular with Rome's population, controlled by Arnold of Brescia, who called for decreasing church and papal powers. Pope Adrian was strict in response, imposing an interdict on Rome that banned the entire city from religious services. Dividing Arnold and his supporters, Arnold was expelled, while Adrian's support of the new Holy Roman Emperor Friedrich Barbarossa led to his imperial troops marching on Rome. Arnold was captured, tried and executed, and Adrian managed to restore order in Rome in spite of increasingly problematic relations with Barbarossa, particularly regarding their relative positions of Pope and Emperor. During his time as Pope, much was undertaken, notably political interactions across Italy and with the Byzantine Empire, but it was noted that he also retained interest in English matters. He received embassies from St Albans in 1156 and 1157, also granting additional privileges to the abbey, and on several occasions influenced Henry II. Adrian granted papal protection to some Scottish towns, and, less positively, was claimed to have gifted Ireland to Henry, although this does not appear to have actually been the case. Numerous other actions were undertaken during his pontificate, supporting the Knights Templar, reforming papal finance, building programmes, and more. In 1157 he even attempted to start a new crusade, although a lack of interest from European rulers delayed this until 1189. Ultimately, his pontificate was short though, 4 years, 6 months and 28 days, with Adrian dying on the 1st of September 1159. Purportedly he choked to death on a fly, but in all probability it was a combination of stress and ill health rather than this fanciful story. Pope Adrian IV, Nicholas Breakspear of Abbotts Langley, remains a somewhat mysterious figure, with ongoing debate about his life and actions. The brevity of his pontificate, combined with limited records, have impacted on his legacy, but he maintained the papacy at a critical time, even though divisions continued to remain an issue thereafter. Best remembered as the only English pope, his life demonstrates the far-reaching connections in history, and the part played by Hertfordshire in its development. If you would like to know more, there is plenty available, and Hertfordshire libraries are a great place to start, with many online resources alongside material in your local library. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thanks for listening.